Hi, my name is Brianna Thomason, and today I'm going to be talking about how children should be offered incentives for doing right rather than giving them punishments for doing wrong things. So, incentives can be a lot of different things. There's a variety of incentives that you can use when you're trying to get a child to do something. You can offer candy to them. You can offer them their favorite treat. You can offer to get them a toy. You can pretty much offer them anything that you think that they will like when they do good. And then punishments, which is very controversial, can deal from many things such as grounding. If your child is old enough to be grounded, the age where you start taking things away and they know that you are taking them away because they did something wrong. Standing in a corner, which ranges with the term timeout. And then also spanking, which is something that I personally do not believe in. So good incentives to give kids, I feel like, is what I mentioned before, where you offer to give the child candy if they do good. For example, a lot of people I know have seen when toddlers are starting to potty train, they have the chart, and then every time the child uses the potty, they get a piece of candy. And then when the child doesn't use the potty, they don't get the piece of candy, and the parent tells them, when you use the potty, you get a piece of candy. So they're not punishing the child when the child doesn't use the potty. When the child does use the potty in their diaper, they're not getting punished for that, but they are getting incentives when they do use the potty. This is a really good example of what I mean by giving incentives rather than punishments, because, you're not punishing the child for using the bathroom. You're giving them candy when they use it, and this makes the child want to use the potty more. Like, they get excited when it's time to use the potty, and they're like, okay, I'm going to use the potty because I get a piece of candy. That's a really good example on this. I've done some research, and I've actually talked to quite a few of my friends who were spanked as children, and they would get their toys taken away when they were bad. My best friend in particular is who I talked to, and she said that this gave her really bad anxiety now that she's an adult. She said that she has really bad anxiety when she does wrong, like something bad, because she's scared that her things are going to get taken away. And she also does not believe in spanking, just like me, because it had a really negative effect on her as a child. So I think redirecting bad behaviors is important in children. For example, I have a 2-year-old, and when he was 1.5, at that age, they get very curious. He went up to the power outlet and he would try to yank it out. And I would tell him, no, baby, don't do that. It'll hurt. And I'll go, ouch. And then I would give him a toy to play with. This is redirecting him to play with the toy rather than to unplug the power outlet. So I think that incentives are very healthy to give kids rather than punishments, because it's teaching them to do the things that you want them to do, but in a positive way. It's teaching them that if they do these good things, then they'll get rewards. And then if you're punishing them, this is a very negative thing, especially for kids. You don't want to punish kids. It really just makes them scared, and it makes them scared of you. Like, why is the person who loves me the most doing this? Why are they being mean to me? Why are they taking my things away? Giving incentives just really helps them, because it makes them want to do the good things. Punishments affect kids negatively. Like I said, it can make them grow up to have anxiety, and they don't really understand why they're being punished when they're children. They don't understand why you're being mean to them. But when you give them incentives and you show them, if you do this, you get good rewards, it makes them want to try harder to get those rewards. So my key points from this whole persuasive speech is basically that I think it's really important to offer children incentives when they're doing good, because it teaches them to do good. And it's shown to work in the past, especially with potty training. And punishments has been proven to give kids anxiety, and I just don't think that's something you want your child to end up having as an adult. And then my final thought on why children should be offered incentives for doing good instead of punishments for being bad is just because, what would you want as a child? Would you want to be offered incentives and get good things when you're doing good, or would you want to be punished for doing something that you don't even know why you shouldn't be doing it? I think that you would want the incentives. So I think it's something to think about. Thanks.